I really love estuary fishing. It is one of the easiest forms of fishing to do, easiest ways to get someone into fishing, and you can find so many species. So we're going to jump in now and look at the September saltwater estuary box after I straighten my table here and see what's inside this month. Brim, whiting, flathead, jacks, barra, threadies. We're covering all bases here, so let's jump in and have a look. Starting off with our two surface options. We do have a little Demiki Umpa 40. So this thing is a tiny little cut face popper. It's going to be great for your brimbos, great for your whiting as well. But essentially you're going to work these over the flats and probably close to the edges as well, maybe where you've got a bit of rocky structure, some mangroves, along the edge of some rich person's pontoon. Don't cast at their boat though, you may regret it. But yeah, essentially what you do with the Umpa 40, long cast out, boop, and just twitch, twitch, twitch. And because of the cut face on the front, this is going to go bloop, 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 bloop. Now, trick is when you see some fish chasing after it, specifically whiting, actually speed up your retrieve. Start working it away from them, because once they see it, they're going to want to chase after it more. And actually a lot of the times, if whiting are packed heavy, they actually start bumping into each other and fighting over it, and this can lead to some really exciting fishing. But if you want to fish more over the flats or cover more area, that's where I'm going to jump into the Fish Candy Skinny Dog. These things are a great little surface prawn presentation is what you're going to mimic here. But because of the pencil bait, you can work these a little bit quicker as well. So I'll pop a long cast out, especially over a high tide. Once you've got that high tide and you've got those sandy flats that are finally submerged, where normally on a low tide they're not, they're finally submerged, you get all these whiting and stuff and brimbos, even big flathead, sitting up on these flats, waiting for food or scavenging around. So these are a perfect place to throw the Skinny Dog. Long cast out, twitch as you wind, so not just a wind, but twitch at the same time. This will just cause it to have an erratic action as you want it back. Now, like I said, if you have whiting chasing it, speed it up. Not too much that you want to get away from it, but you got to mimic that this thing's trying to get away from the fish. Because then, like I said, these fish are going to start fighting over it. Now, a lot of the time, if you're working slower, you can actually find that big flathead, if you're fishing in, 3 to 1 foot of water, big flathead will see this and just come and chomp, and often even give you these crazy aerials, just push out of the water. It's phenomenal, it's insane, great way to fish. That's your two surface options anyway, the Umpa 40 in your cut face popper for the bloop, 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 or my favorite way to fish them with a faster approach, the Skinny Dog, so twitch and wind, maybe add a couple pauses in there. If you see fish chasing it, start speeding it up again. Now let's jump over to plastics. But while we're still on brim and whiting, we're going to start off with the Demiki Monster Mickeys. So these things, crazy looking little baits, but they're essentially going to mimic like a little baby squid or a little yabby, little saltwater yabby that you often pump out. I just spat everywhere. Pump out. These are a great little bait. Rig them heavy if you want to just hop along the bottom chasing flatties. Rig them light if you want to maximize the tentacles and the action on these, and these will just all over the water column. The way I like to fish these is super light. Go as light of a jig head as you can. I'll often work like a 6-pound braid and run like a 1/12 to 1/16 ounce jig head. Have a look at which way the current is running. So it's running that way there. You're going to cast up current with your light jig head. Long cast out. Let it hit the water. And because of the light jig heads, I only get it slowly, very slowly sink, but that current is actually going to drag it along. So this will just look like this thing's just swimming in the current. and you often just get whacks from that lazy, easy way to fish. Give it a shot, works a treat. But obviously, yeah, it will eventually hit the bottom. That's when you just want to hop it back up, and then it'll just continue its trajectory along in the current, having a good time until it gets eaten. Otherwise, if you're fishing like oyster racks or something and chasing brim, once again, super light jig head, because you really want that slow flutter or slow action. Unless you're chasing flatties, maybe you hop along the bottom. But yeah, super light jig head for those ones. Moving over to the bigger plastics in the box this month, we've got the Noiki Wobble Shad in a 4-inch. So these things have a T-tail paddle tail on the back. T-tail paddle tail, not your traditional paddle tail, but a T-tail paddle tail. You can tell that because when you hold it up, it looks like the letter T. It's just like a tail, plastic, you know. But yeah, so these things often give a good vibration. You can, if you're fishing a ultra sensitive rod and good braid, you can often just feel that tail thud, 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 thud because of the T-tail paddle tail on the back. Now, if you're fishing warmer climates where you do find mangrove jack, these are going to be my first pick in your estuaries for mangrove jack. It's a great 4-inch profile, which is my favorite size to fish for jack, 4.5, 5-inch for jacks. Or if you want to chase flathead or even threadies, mulloway as well will hit these. Not too big or small for those species, but maybe just rig them on a heavier jig head. As soon as I see these, I'm thinking 1/4 ounce to 3/8 ounce jig head pretty much covers all those species. And it will work weedlessly as well if you want to cast up into your mangroves or onto some rock edges as well. And then we've got the Berkeley Power Bait Hollow Belly. So these actually do have a hollow center through the middle, which can make it super easy to rig your jig head. These are great. Big paddle tail on the back, and being power bait, they have Berkeley's scent infused inside it. So a little bit different to the normal scent that you see the Berkeley Gulp sitting in, this liquidy stuff where it just spells for a bit and then can go hard if you leave it out. These won't go hard if you leave them out and actually have the scent infused in the body. So when they knock around on things or get hit by a fish, that releases the scent and can cause the fish to actually want it more. But aside from that, the big paddle tail on these things are absolutely fantastic. These are normally one of my first go-tos for barra or jacks and some of your bigger species, and a great all-rounded plastic. Bigger profile on these as well, so you're gonna maybe be looking to imitate your anchovies and stuff like that, even smaller mullet as well. If there's a lot of mullet getting around, match the hatch. These are gonna be a great profile. So you've got your slender profile and a thicker profile in your two plastics. And that's it for the estuary box this month. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm actually wearing the new Tackle Club Pro Fishing jersey. And these things are sweet. Come with a hoodie. A lot of fishing jerseys do not have hoodies, but this is a unique little feature that we'd like to add onto ours. Not only that, but these jerseys are super lightweight. Super lightweight. Good UPF protection as well. So if you want to check this out or any of the boxes in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box or apparel that's right for you, and welcome to the club.